will start the resolution, proclamation, announcement portion of our meeting for Tuesday, January 18, 2022. We're one day late, of course, because of the holiday that was yesterday. First item on the agenda is the presentation by the Chamber of Commerce, Tourism, and the Aceta Board. And I'm assuming that is by Ms. Wells and Commissioner Meredith. The floor is yours.
Good evening. Andy sends his apologies. He had something come up and couldn't be with us tonight, but he is well aware of what I'm about to present to you all. So there's a little bit of a spoiler alert in our board meeting minutes, if you all have had a chance to look at those. But basically, the Tourism Council, we own the building at 115 Welcome Lane, which is located next to Golden Girls at the interstate, and we've operated it as a welcome center since 1998. That's the purpose that it was built for, and again, like I said, we've operated that since 1998. Things have changed over the last however many years that is. Back then, we were using dial-up, AOL. And now we're carrying around a supercomputer in our hands. So our purpose has changed over the years. We do not get as many questions about what there is to do in the area. We get a lot of questions about moving to the area. We get a lot of questions, some people that have already been to the area, they're trying to figure out other things to do, but it's not really, people pulling off the interstate asking us questions like they used to. We get a lot of people come in with their GPS and hand it to us and say, can you reprogram this? So we do still get some map questions and things like that, but the visitation to the Welcome Center has decreased exponentially over the last few years. What we are seeing more now, we're getting more questions of meeting space. We've got a lot of questions from small businesses in the area or people that are operating businesses in their home. They've moved to the area and they're in a remote area that doesn't have Wi-Fi. They would like to have somewhere where they can conduct a virtual meeting or they can meet with a client in a public space. We're getting a lot of requests for like event registrations, a place to hold event registration. When we had the FLW tournament, that was one of the requirements, is to have a place where they could do the registration, and we just didn't have the space there. So like I said, our goals and our purpose has kind of changed over the years. So several years ago, when Rick was hired as the chamber, his board also kind of tasked him with the plan to get a new facility for their chamber, and Aceta is also kind of housed with them at the bank. If y'all have been in their facility, it's no offense, but it's just not the best space that we could put forward for our community. And so we've been talking ever since then pretty much for looking for a location where we can all co-locate. So I want to say up front that we are not talking about merging our organizations. All three of our organizations have a very specific purpose and we function differently. We're a county entity, they're a 501c6. The Aceta is a 501c6. So we all function pretty well, I think, with our boards that are in place, but we are looking for a place that we can locate together. So our plan is, and what I discussed with my board and they approved at our meeting, is to sell our building located at the interstate, ask County Commission to reserve those funds, and then allow us to purchase part of a building that the chamber would build. So they would build the facility and we would purchase part of it. We would own it. We currently own our building. It is my goal to continue to own a building. I don't want to give up an asset that we have to lease from somewhere. So we will actually own our building, our part of the building. So it'll kind of be like a firewall, separate building. We would have a common space, an entry, we would have some meeting space, but we would have ownership of our part. So down the road, if we no longer want to be in the same facility, that way one of us can sell our part if we want to, and it wouldn't have any effect on the other part. So that's kind of the plan that we have in place. And again, I'm coming here tonight because we just want to give you the information. We want to give you all time to think about it. We want to give you all time to ask us questions. It is going to be kind of a back and forth process. We will have to put the building up for auction. It'll have to go through the bid process. We will be getting an appraisal. So we will be using that appraisal to set a minimum amount. And along the process of any time that we are like, no, this is not going to work, then we can stop at that point. I mean, if we get an appraisal and we find out how much a new facility is going to work, or how much a new facility is going to cost, and those two things do not align up, then at that point, we would stop the process. So there will be some, points along the way that we may say, this is not in our best interest. But the plan at this point would be to get an appraisal. If that appraisal is adequate enough, then we would put the building up for auction. At that point, there would be a point of no return. So if we do auction the building off, those monies would be set aside, but we would know ahead of time how much a new facility is going to cost. Does that make sense? So, is there anything you want to add?
So, from the chamber perspective, thank you all for your support as far as the chamber and our organizations. We work very well together. I guess you can see the growth that we've had in Anderson County, and trust me, there's more coming as we go into this year and probably next year. My board of directors, as well as my executive committee, has asked me to move forward with this project as of 2 hours ago. So I will begin those negotiations on an undisclosed parcel. I can't disclose just yet. Hopefully in the next week or so you'll know, and we will move forward, hopefully in partnership with your support, that we can make all this happen. When you do economic development as well as the commerce side and tourism, as Stephanie pointed out, we deal with a large audience of different groups of people, and we truly need confidential meeting space, tourism, riders, on my side, businesses that would just want a spot to just start up a business. So it's going to be a blend of a facility that Anderson County deserves. Anderson County Chamber of Commerce is 90 years old this year. In 1932, 10 people started this. There's not many Chamber of Commerces across the state that could say they're 90 years old. So we're gonna start 90 years, and 90 years from now, hopefully this building's still standing. It'll be historic then. So anyhow, but if there's any questions I can answer, please ask.
Commissioner Yeager, go ahead, sir.
Thank you. Is the ownership of the building shared, or is that, would?
The ownership of a current building is not.
No, I mean the
but
new plan.
yes, no, we will have a building that will look like one building, but it'll be split in two.
Okay.
So we'd have like a firewall down the middle. Anderson County would, and through tourism, would own one side. Anderson County Chamber and Aceta would own the other side.
Okay, thanks.
Commissioner Denenberg.
Zero lot line, I guess, is the technological
That's a very good term.
retail term,
And
or
very
real estate term.
That is correct. Do you have an idea of a location of a piece of property at this point? Or should I be
Yes,
asking that
Commissioner, I
question?
can't disclose that owner, but we are in negotiations currently, and I've just got the next step forward.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions? All right.
Well, and one of the things too that I've said along this whole route is outside of this facility right here, the courthouse, in any community, your chamber, your tourism, your economic development, that is your face of your community. That is who your first, when someone moves to the community, that's what they see. When they visit the community, that's what they see. When they come here and they want to develop a property or industrial property, that's what they see. So we just want to present a united front that is a beautiful facility. So, and if you have any questions, like I said, the next process, we will come back to operations. So you all can ask questions before or ask questions, in the meantime, and then we'll go through the rest of the process. Okay?
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is a public hearing concerning the rezoning of property located at the intersection of Lake City Highway and Longmire Road, Clinton. That is on the tax map 065 from C1 General Commercial District to R1S Residential District. Is there anyone in the audience tonight here for the public hearing on that particular piece of property rezoning? Okay. Would you like to address commission? All right. If you would stand at the podium, please state your name and address. We would ask that anyone that does address commission tonight, please limit your comments to 3 minutes. I'll let you know when the 3 minutes are up. If there are other people that decide they want to speak on it as well, the only thing we ask is if someone's already said something that you were planning on saying, please concede to what they've said. But we do want to give everybody an opportunity to speak to commission tonight that wishes to do so. Go ahead, sir.
All right, my name is Mark Scove. I live at 852 Lake City Highway. That's the parcel that joins their northern border for about 600 or 700 feet. And I have no particular objection to the rezoning. I was a developer, full disclosure, I was a land developer for 30 years. So I understand how the process works and exactly what they're trying to do. I have some concerns about their conceptions of the project itself, but I have no objections to the rezoning. Now, how does that work? Is there a planning board that deals with the actual, or is that the commissioners do that too? There's a planning board?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I want to make sure I get to those meetings, but other than that, that's all I wanted to say.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else tonight wish to speak on the public hearing, Lake City Highway at Longmire Road? If no one else, we will close the public hearing. And commissioners, we will be in recess until the 6:30 agenda.